Chernobyl didn't just make its cast famous, it permanently changed how they would be seen. Because when you portray real tragedy, the role doesn't end with the credits. It follows you. For some actors, visibility turned into responsibility. For others, success came tied to grief, memory, and moral weight they could never shed. This wasn't a series people binged and forgot. It was a reckoning the world carried forward. So what really happened to the cast of Chernobyl after the spotlight faded? And what does it cost to be remembered for telling the truth too well? We begin with the voice that guided the series, Jared Harris. Before Chernobyl, Harris was already one of the most respected character actors of his generation. Known for Mad Men: The Crown and decades of film and television work, he carried credibility without celebrity. As Valery Legasov, Harris delivered a performance built on restraint. Grief without theatrics. Urgency without spectacle. He portrayed a man crushed by truth, bureaucracy, and moral isolation. The role elevated Harris into a new level of recognition, but it also reframed how audiences saw him. After Chernobyl, Harris continued leading major projects, including Foundation and The Terror. Yet Legasov followed him forward. The performance didn't expand his identity. It fixed it as a face of ethical weight. Today, Harris is remembered not just for his talent, but for giving voice to responsibility when silence was easier. From moral isolation, the story moves to reluctant authority through Stellan Skarsgård. Before Chernobyl, Skarsgård was already an international icon. With decades of acclaimed performances across European and American cinema, his reputation was firmly established. As Boris Sherbina, Skarsgård portrayed transformation, from rigid functionary to reluctant witness, from denial to responsibility. The performance resonated because it resisted simplicity. After Chernobyl, Skarsgård continued working steadily across film and television. But this role added something new. It reminded audiences that power doesn't always begin with understanding. Sometimes it ends there. Sherbina became one of Skarsgård's most quietly defining roles, not because it was loud, but because it changed. The narrative then turns to Emily Watson. Before Chernobyl, Watson was already an acclaimed actress, known for emotionally rigorous performances across film and television. As Ulana Komyuk, a composite character representing many scientists, Watson carried the conscience of the story. Her performance embodied persistence against institutional resistance. The role placed Watson at the center of the series' moral argument. After Chernobyl, Watson continued choosing roles defined by depth rather than exposure. But Komyuk became a reference point. The character reframed Watson not just as a performer, but as a vessel for collective truth. Today, she is remembered as the embodiment of scientific integrity in a narrative about systemic failure. From conscience, the story shifts to conflict through Paul Ritter. Before Chernobyl, Ritter was widely respected for his versatility, balancing drama and comedy with ease. As Anatoly Dyatlov, Ritter delivered one of the series' most unsettling performances. Rigid, defensive, refusing accountability. The character drew intense reactions, and Ritter accepted that discomfort fully. After Chernobyl, his career continued across stage and screen, including renewed recognition for his dramatic range. Dyatlov became a reminder that some performances aren't meant to be liked, they're meant to be understood. The story then turns inward toward personal loss through Jessie Buckley. Before Chernobyl, Buckley was an emerging talent, building momentum through theater and independent film. As Lyudmila Ignatenko, Buckley portrayed grief without abstraction. Love confronting contamination, hope confronting inevitability. The performance introduced Buckley to a global audience, but it also fixed her in a space of emotional intensity. After Chernobyl, Buckley's career accelerated rapidly. She took on challenging roles across film and television, earning critical acclaim and major award recognition. Yet, Lyudmila remained a touchstone, a role that proved emotional truth can be more devastating than spectacle. What Chernobyl proved was something television rarely admits, that portraying truth doesn't free actors from history. It binds them to it. The supporting cast carried a different burden. They weren't portraying fictional stakes, they were reenacting real consequences. Engineers, miners, soldiers. For many performers, Chernobyl didn't redefine their careers, it recalibrated them. Visibility arrived, but so did obligation. The cast of Chernobyl did not emerge as conventional stars. They emerged as stewards of memory. Fame followed, but gravity led. And long after the series ended, its impact continued. Not as entertainment, but as warning. And if this story stayed with you, it's because Chernobyl wasn't an isolated moment. Other casts carried the same weight. Some never set it down. Those stories are waiting in the playlist, because some legacies aren't built on applause. They endure as remembrance.